This hour of the Howie Carr Show is brought to you in part by the Carr Guys. Do what I did and what Grace did and call the Carr Guys to get a great used car. Call their new number, 800-300-4600. Joining us now on the line is Ann Coulter. Ann, thanks for being with us here on the Howie Carr Show.
Absolutely. Good to talk to you, Howie.
This is another big day here, isn't it, in the campaign? I mean, could Hillary Clinton be any more clueless at that press conference this morning, Ann?
Well, I know. The whole press, the entire liberal establishment, it's just the same thing over and over again. They go into overdrive every time there's a jihadist attack in fear of Islamophobia. Yeah,
I know. I love the question too. That is Russia behind? Oh, I got to play that cut again. This cut is too unbelievable. Did you listen to the press conference this morning, Ann?
No, I heard clips of it later.
You have to hear this. Yeah, there's a reporter named Jennifer. I don't know where she's from, but listen to Jennifer's question here.
Hi.
Hey, Jennifer.
Are you concerned that this weekend's attacks or potential incidents in the coming weeks might be an attempt by ISIS or ISIS sympathizers or really any other group, maybe the Russians, to influence the presidential race in some way and presumably try to drive votes to Donald Trump, who is, as you said before.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic.
Have you? Imagine if Donald Trump had been asked that question and he answered it. A question like that. I mean, they would say, has Donald Trump lost his mind for answering that question?
It's so weird and unheard of for Muslims to act up like this. What else could it be, Howie? I mean, their deportment skills have been excellent, and this close to an election, something so odd as Muslims engaging in jihad in America, there must be a conspiracy behind it.
And how about the other thing too, that Donald Trump says it was a bomb, Hillary Clinton says it was a bomb, it was a bomb, and yet the big question today is, how dare Donald Trump say it was a bomb?
Oh, no, I know that is disqualifying, Howie. The media were utterly hysterical yesterday over Trump saying it was a bomb. Totally disqualifying. How dare he call a bomb a bomb?
But she said it too. That's the point, Ann. Let's put it.
Even if she hadn't, it was a bomb.
Right.
Who cares if she said it? It was a bomb. He called it a bomb. He was correct before the media wanted him to be correct, and that's disqualifying.
You got to hear it. Let's have Hillary calling it a bomb.
I've been briefed about the bombings in New York and New Jersey.
So she's been briefed about the bombings in New Jersey. So let's have the question that the reporters asked her.
Do you have any reaction to the fact that Donald Trump immediately upon taking the stage tonight called the explosion in New York a bomb and told that to the crowd?
Well,
And this is really amazing. I mean, every week we say it's the most amazing we've ever seen it, but it just gets worse and worse. It's like Saturday Night Live. It's like these are skits that Saturday Night Live would reject because they're too fantastic.
Or that you would do on your radio show, and then we actually hear it, I mean, as a joke, and then we hear it as reported as serious news. No, that was something. And then apparently Jake Tapper cut out the part of Hillary calling it a bombing in order to demand of, someone representing Trump on the TV to defend his calling it a bomb. No, the media is really out of control now. It's interesting how it's the media who is guiding Hillary's response here. I mean, the way that question was asked, it was a rhetorical question. It was like someone making an argument. So was that appropriate for Donald Trump to call it a bomb? What do you think of that? Immediately after this went off, before we had the results, what do you think of that, Hillary? It's like the press are writing her talking points, and the press aren't
badly.
That bright.
They're writing them badly, though. That's the thing. I don't. She seems to be, from what I see in these polls, her base constituency, or what she thought was her base constituency, the black voters, the Latinos, they're running away from her even faster than the deplorables. Or
yes,
I guess they're becoming deplorables.
Right, they're becoming deplorables, which reminds me of in addition to the constant libel of Donald Trump, another thing that's annoying, if you're still consuming any American media, which I strongly recommend against, is how they have all these goofy little talking points that you can hear. You can turn on TV right now, watch for 20 minutes, and you'll hear someone saying, well, it's all Islam today. Or, sorry, I mean the danger of Islamophobia. But as soon as that passes and we're just talking generally about the campaign, they will all say over and over again that Trump's appeal to African Americans isn't really to get the African American vote, it's to get the white suburban women's vote. Haven't you heard that like a million times? I've been hearing that for 20 years. No, actually, I think Trump wants the African-American vote, and ha-ha, he's getting it. More than any Republican since Nixon, anyway.
Yeah, I mean, you want any vote you can get, right? I mean, ultimately, any vote is as good as another vote, and you have to get them all. Let me play the. This is another one, Ann. You've got other things to do. I just we sit here and we listen for this kind of stuff. I wanted you to hear. I want you to react. This is CNN. Some guy named David Rhodes, not to be confused with David Rhodes. This is David Dusty Rhodes. Cut 28.
Again, there has been this. We've seen this stream of attacks, and it can be, 2 or 3 lone wolves who somehow got together and radicalized online.
So the
2 or 3 lone wolves.
Did you catch that one, Ann? Now the lone wolves are getting together. Are they still? I would think that if they were getting together, they're not lone wolves anymore. They're a wolf pack, aren't they?
Right. That's right. Well, also the whole gist of this is, as it is with immigration, both legal and illegal immigration generally, this is just, a force of nature, and there's nothing we can do about it. As if America has, always been admitting more Muslims than immigrants from the British Isles. This is just what happens. It's like the wind. It's like the weather. We can't change it. And in addition to, lone wolf, how are you going to stop that? I know. Stop admitting them. Stop bringing them in. Then there's less opportunity for these lone wolf Islamic jihadist attacks. I'm pretty sure if we were taking, British, Irish, Scottish, German, white Western European, the odds of Islamic jihadist attacks goes down significantly, lone wolf or otherwise.
Yeah. And the same thing in St. Cloud, where the guy was the Muslim Somali was chanting Allahu Akbar. I mean, God bless the cop who stopped him with his equalizer. But I think that mall was a gun-free zone. So I mean, I wonder, are the prosecutors in Minnesota or Governor Dayton, they're going to demand that he be prosecuted? And,
I think. Why did he have it? He was an off-duty cop, so I guess he was allowed to have it. But yeah, it is striking and striking compared to other jihadist attacks with guns, knives, and trucks and cars in other countries. It is proving Donald Trump's point, and all of our point. I mean, he's not the first one to think of it. That this is why we want guns, to protect ourselves. It's always these mass murders where they're in gun-free zones, or i.e. Europe, that take down a lot more innocent civilians than the ones in America, at least where somebody is allowed to be armed.
But the police chief in St. Cloud immediately ran out. The guy's chanting Allah while he's stabbing people, and the police chief in St. Cloud comes out and says, "We don't know his motives." I mean,
Well, that's just one piece of evidence, Howie. Don't jump to conclusions.
Let's have Lieutenant General Michael Flynn here. I love playing these cuts for you, Ann, because I know you haven't heard a lot of them. Cut number 9.
Political correctness kills. It will cause death. And we can't have that. You don't have a lot of people yelling, Jesus Christ, putting a knife in somebody's body or putting a knife in somebody's head.
But Hillary Ann, she's got the answer to this question. She knows we're gonna bring out the big guns next in this struggle. Cut number 15.
So we've got to do a much more intensive effort, and that's why I mentioned Silicon Valley in my remarks. Not only to take down terrorist propaganda, but to do everything we can to intercept and prevent radicalization and recruitment. And
There is one.
Yep, that'll do it. Another idea
Mark Zuckerberg to the rescue.
Is to not keep bringing in lots of third world immigrant Muslims, some of whom will flip out and attempt to slaughter lots of Americans. Another idea I'm thinking of.
I liked your column last week about Hillary is calling us all deplorables. Now, and you said so how many of these Muslims who turn into terrorists? You didn't even know about these latest 2 or 3 or 4.
No,
how many there were?
Tell us. You'll tell us how many Trump supporters are deplorable. Why not tell us what percentage of Muslims are deplorable? Any 1%, 2%?
Yeah. She of course will never say that because and again here's Obama now. Here's one. Oh, let's play the cut the war. Let's have the Josh Earnest cuts. These are pretty funny too. These Josh Earnest. It's listen to the cut.
When it comes to ISIL, we are in a narrative fight with him. The other thing that we can do is we can also work to try to lift up the voices of prominent patriotic Muslims in the United States. There are millions of them. They can speak to the poisonous, empty, bankrupt mythology that's being propagated by ISIL. In some ways, this is actually just a war of narratives. And so we want to make sure that we're getting out our counter-narrative against
a war of narratives, Ann.
Yes, no, I write about this in Trump We Trust, this hysterical demand that we must admit Muslims, this breakneck speed, so that we have some here to help us with the terrorist Muslims we're admitting. How about we stop admitting Muslims?
I'm fine with that, and it's permitted under the Immigration and Naturalization Act of 1952, passed by a Democratic Congress, Ann, as you well know. And
yes, well, it's always okay. We can admit whomever we want. The rest of the world does not have a constitutional right to live in America. But we always get this, no, we have to admit more Muslims. We can't. Very hard to vet. Millions of people per year coming into the country. That's a quote from the New York Times I have in my book. Hard to vet them all. I mean, what are you going to do? We're admitting as visitors, guest visas, marriage visas, refugees, just standard legal immigrants coming here. Tens of millions of people have to be vetted. How are you going to do that? Okay, how about don't admit them then? Mm-hmm. Don't admit 10 million people a year.
Wouldn't it have been a good question for one of those reporters? I know Jennifer was too busy asking her question about the Russians, but wouldn't it have been a good question to ask? Hillary, does this make you rethink your proposal to increase the number of unvetted Muslim refugees coming into the country by 5-fold next year? She wants to bring in 5
Speaking
times.
Of which, remember oh my gosh, the media was so delighted and just, wanted to send him whatever their top journalism award was when Jake Tapper said to Trump's spokeswoman, Katrina Pearson, she was defending Trump on something, but saying, look, this isn't a small number of, deplorables, I think. Hillary is calling people who don't happen to want ISIS to move into their neighborhoods, and she, listed other concerns, have their jobs driven down, affirmative action for immigrants. She goes through this list of things, and Jake Tapper quite impertinently said to her, no one has said ISIS should move into American neighborhoods in the history of the world. That really nailed Katrina, or as they say in internet speak, watch Jake Tapper destroy Katrina Pearson. Well, I think this is what she was talking about. We got the one in Minnesota. We have who knows how many, only one arrested so far, right? And the various New Jersey and New York bombings, lots of bombings. See, this is what we were talking about. This is what Katrina meant, Jake Tapper.
Let's listen to Hillary again talking about she's the only one who's made the hard decisions. Out of all the laughable things that have been said in the last 24 to 48 hours, this could be the best one, Ann.
I'm the only candidate in this race who has been part of the hard decisions to take terrorists off the battlefield.
As one of my texters said, Ann, she's made the hard decisions to take terrorists off the battlefield and bring them to our neighborhoods.
And to Western Europe. I mean, heard that Libya was 100% her baby. That wasn't Obama's. There are emails showing Sidney Blumenthal, pushing Hillary. Make sure you get credit for taking out Muammar Gaddafi. And there's that tape of her saying, and laughing. We
Yeah.
came, we saw,
We've got it.
he died.
We've got
well,
it.
That's what led to the migrants, millions of migrants pouring through Libya, not just from Libya, but through Libya straight into Western Europe where they can rape the German girls. This is 100% Hillary's responsibility.
Yeah. I know.
We came, we saw, he died.
Yeah, it's very funny, huh? It's worked out splendidly. That was a hard decision to make.
Yeah.
Benghazi,
Yeah, no,
that was a hard
Gaddafi
decision. Yeah.
I was quite openly in columns and speeches, among others, adamantly opposed to that. It's not like, oh gosh, nobody could have seen this coming. I saw it coming. Gaddafi may not be a saint, but for Pete's sake, he had paid at that point, after the Iraq War, he had paid all the Lockerbie victims something like $8 million apiece. He called in the UN weapons inspectors. One of the great accomplishments of the war in Iraq was it scared the bejesus out of the rest of those Islamic despots. He wasn't any threat to us. He was far less of a threat to us than any number of other leaders around the world. But, just for fun, Hillary wants a big foreign policy accomplishment, so she takes out Gaddafi, and that has led to, well, the end of Western Europe.
Ann Coulter, thanks for being with us. We appreciate it. And the title of your book is E Pluribus Awesome or Fabulous.
I think maybe I should keep giving the title of my book, Howie. But thanks for talking about it.
I
In Trump
apologize.
We trust E Pluribus Awesome.
E
Talk to you
Pluribus
soon.
Awesome. I'm sorry, Ann. I apologize. Thanks. I'm Howie Carr.
Howie Carr. You can trust him. He's not like the others.